today we're going to discuss about the block start, and today I'm going to share several details. One of the things that the coaches actually get confused on is which leg should be front when you use a block start. So I'm going to share some ideas here on how to test which leg is stronger for your athletes. So initially, when we do the leg strength testing, we can actually do the simple jump test. However, the jump test is very difficult when you use the force plate because you can actually include max force, or you can include impulse, or you can include rate of force development. So I make it really simple for a lot of coaches to use. It's the broad jump. Okay? So I don't want any arm swing in effect. So usually I try to keep the hands on the hip and then do the broad jump on a single leg. So you can actually do the hands on the hip and then 3, 2, 1, go. You make the broad jump. And the single leg just once might not determine which leg is stronger. So you can also do the 3 repetitions on the broad jump. That way I can see which leg is stronger. And if you have a significant difference in the distance, you can obviously tell. But if you cannot, let's say the distance is about the same, then you can use whichever leg you prefer for your athletes, and it should be okay. The second part is looking at the appropriate angle. I actually mentioned this in the previous videos, but when you actually set your athlete in a block position, I want to see the front leg knee angle to be around the 90 degrees, and then the back leg knee angle should be anywhere from 100 to 130. And then the whole reason of this setup is 90 degree is what's called a moment arm, okay, is at the greatest. What that means is your body is forced to produce the highest force to overcome your moment arm. So this position actually helps you to have the stronger leg to be on the front. So you can overcome your moment arm. And then the weaker leg goes to the back side. And then the reason for 120 to 130 is your body can produce the highest force and the highest power right around the 135 degrees. So this is one of the reasons why we do the exercise called the mid-thigh pull, which is in this position holding a barbell or a dumbbell, and then you extend to triple extend from your leg to produce the power. So weaker leg right at 120 to 130 degrees, and then the stronger leg on the front about 90 degrees. And then when you actually push off, initially, your back leg never gonna reach 180 degrees. If you actually look at your athletes in a slow-mo video, you can actually see that they come out of the block right around the 160 degrees. So keep in mind that the back leg is not gonna reach the 180 degrees. So what that means is you need to have 120 to 130 degrees, so you can have anywhere from 40 to 30 degrees. If your back leg is set up 160 right up here, you actually don't have any angle to be able to push. Okay? And then once you come out of the block, okay, your front leg should be right around 110 to 120. And then last part is to be able to extend about 170 degree angle. Okay? So you have to have a series of angle displacement change on the back leg, but also on the front leg. And you got to be able to push from both back leg and then also the front leg to push off. Now we talked about stronger leg being the front on the block start and then the weaker leg on the back. So now let's look at the force curve, because this is another important part that a lot of time, because the stronger leg is in the front, coaches assume that the front leg has to be the primary pusher to come out of the block, but that is a wrong concept. a lot of research in a literature review showing that the back leg push is actually very important in order to have a very good body position in acceleration phase. So let's look at the position A, position B, and then position C in a force curve. So let's assume that you have force plate on a block and then measure the force curve. So your back leg actually have an initial push off the block, and then you come out of the block, and then the front leg push next. Okay, and then as you can see here, we've done some pilot testing here, and then this is pretty apparent that the back leg push is very important to have a larger amount than front leg. So larger force from the back leg, but the larger impulse, the area of the force, is from the front leg because your front leg attached to your block longer period of time. But overall, this way you have a larger impulse to push off that block. And then this is actually the bad example, having a front leg to push a lot harder than your back leg. In other words, your back leg is kind of ignored from pushing. Okay? And then this is another misconcept a lot of coaches have here, that if you focus too much on the front leg to push off, then you don't have a whole lot of push from the back leg. So overall impulse is much, much smaller than somebody who's pushing off the block from the back leg first. So again, this is actually a very miscommunicated information among the coaches. But this is what the research is showing over the years, that your back leg is very important to push off initially to produce higher impulse, higher force off the block, so you can have a very good acceleration.